5th Pierz City Council meeting to order. We'll start with our pledge.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome. Let's start with the approval of the minutes for the regular city council meeting on April 11th.
I'll make that motion.
Motion's made by Lynn,
I'll second it.
seconded by Donnie to approve the April 11th, 2022 regular city council meeting minutes. All in favor indicate by stating aye.
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 Opposed? Carried unanimously. And then our April 14th, 2022 Local Board of Appeals and Equalization. Those minutes.
I'll make the motion to accept those minutes.
Motion's made by Donnie. And I will second that motion, being I'm the only other one that was here, that's here currently. All in favor indicate by stating aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried unanimously. Any additions to the agenda?
I'll make a motion to accept the agenda as read unless,
Motion's been made by Donnie to accept the agenda as presented,
I'll second it.
seconded by Lynn. All in favor indicate by stating aye.
aye.
Aye. Opposed? Carried unanimously. Let's start with planning and zoning. Jim, you're right on cue there.
We have just one building permit, and it's by Brenda Eisner. She wants to make a house at 388 Cody Court. We really didn't have any problems with her plans on that line. The lot has been surveyed, so she knows where the corners are. They didn't have stakes out there yet for the house, but the plan that was drawn up by Eisner, by Fessler, clearly has it within the scope of the setbacks and that, and somebody will have to watch that, I guess, when the time comes. But we didn't have any problem with the plans.
Okay. Any questions or comments for Jim? If not,
I'll make the motion to accept the building permit.
motion's been made by Donnie to accept the building permit, seconded by,
I'll second. Go ahead, Kyle.
seconded by Kyle. All in favor indicate by stating aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Carried unanimously. Bulk fuel tanks for the golf course and public works. Bob, do you want to present? I know there's a packet on our desk or a
Sure.
document on our desk.
Yeah, there's some updated information on your desk. Zach had done the original research on that, and I asked him to update it. We did run this past the park board as well. One thing that we left off was the pumps. So the tank is 4,800. So I'll just go through the packet on your desk.
Yep.
The tank is 4,800 per tank, and the pumps that Zach was looking at is the 15 gallon a minute pump, so that's $975 additionally. And then we would get a hose swivel on that as well for another $75. So what we're looking at doing is putting a 1,000 gallon tank for diesel and a 1,000 gallon tank for gasoline at the golf course. We use both of those. Diesel is mainly for our mowers, and the gas is for the golf carts and a few other work carts, basically. So what we're looking at doing is Dan DeMar is a tanker. He owns and operates a tanking business, so he hauls bulk diesel and gas. Currently, we buy it from Pierz Co-op. The advantages we can have are we're buying it at 900 gallons at a time rather than 200 or 300 is what we're buying right now. One thing we're not utilizing at Public Works is the ability to buy this at no tax. So we don't have to pay tax on diesel that we're using for street sweeper, plow truck, bucket truck. So rather than, right now, we just go to the gas stations in town, we're paying the fuel tax, we're paying sales tax, which we don't need to if we're buying in bulk. So just doing some calculations, page 2 of this packet kind of shows a breakdown. If we were to save, we're estimating to save 50 to $1 per gallon on diesel as well as gas. So this is a breakdown of saving 75 cents on the first page, so roughly a 9.5-year payback. That's including the cost of the tank, the pump, some electric and installation cost. And if we were to save 50 cents a gallon, the payback would be roughly 17 and a half years. Just a few other reasons, I guess, on public works would be just having that ability of that much diesel at our fingertips. If we did have an emergency, let's say we're out of power at the city for 5 days, we have the ability to fire up a generator and have fuel for emergency vehicles, especially fire trucks and any public works vehicles. And just the convenience, middle of the night, if we're running snow for 3-4 days in a row, we have the ability just to go there and fill up whenever we want to or need to. So at the golf course, I guess, access is not really an issue with that tanker. He can back right into that golf course shop and basically load up 900 gallons at a time. We did check with Dan Hennon too, and he has the ability to split. So if we need to put 400 gallons at the golf course and 500 at Public Works, we could do that at no extra charge, which keeps everything fresher, and Zach and Eric can work together to manage that. So one thing at the golf course, we do have a diesel and a gas tank there now. They're not in compliance. They should be the double wall tanks, which these would be the double wall tanks, which you do not need the containment system for. If you've seen the concrete containment systems, those are built for single wall tanks. So, and this kind of all came about because just for the dozer, we're buying bulk fuel from Dandemar as well. So,
Yeah, we're saving considerable amount of money on diesel fuel by buying it bulk. Plus, we have the convenience of having it right there to fill up when we need to. And we're saving anywhere from, it's usually about 75 cents a gallon is what we're saving. So I think your first analysis, with 75 cents is a fair one. There's times when we can save more depending on when we buy versus when prices change, those kind of things. We can be a little bit savvy. If we think prices are going up, we don't have to buy if we have enough. If we think prices are down, we can fill our tanks.
one thing too, these will be metered, so you should be able to reset it every time. You'll be able to reset it every time, maybe more so in Public Works, so Eric can track snow removal, street sweeping separately, for example. Golf course, maybe not so important, but if we wanted to say how much do the golf carts cost us in fuel, we could measure that if we wanted to.
Any questions?
So for the golf course, it wouldn't be the 5850, it would be double that, correct?
It'd be 58.50 each.
Each,
Correct.
Two, yep.
just clarifying.
Correct. And then we would own the tanks. They'd be more portable at that point too if we need to move them somewhere down the line. They would have value if something changed or we needed to sell them.
Yeah, so it's an initial investment, but the payback is again less than 10 years, and future beyond that is 100% payback. So all savings, I should say.
Do they have the money in their budgets for it?
We'll find the money in the golf course. I mean, that's even a dedicated item if we have to. With that payback, I just feel like if we wait on it, that's just more, we're losing.
Well, with spring here, hopefully soon, and the golf course opening up.
Where have you been?
Not here, huh? We should be able to start having cash flow enough that we can
Yeah.
fund this.
Any other questions? Comments? And you're looking for approval to move ahead and purchase one or the other or both? And would you need two motions or just one?
I would say one, just to include 2 tanks at the golf course and 1 at Public Works.
Motion's been made by Jackie to approve the bulk fuel tank purchases, one for the golf course, one for Public Works. Seconded.
2 for the golf course, 1 for Public Works. You just said 1 and 1, it's 2 and 1.
I'm sorry, 2 for the golf course.
3
one-
total. How about that?
Yep.
I'll second.
Seconded by Kyle. All in favor indicate by stating aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried unanimously. Pierz Golf Course and campground hiring recommendations. We have some more applicants we're looking to put on.
Yeah, a few changes with that. So Elizabeth Studinsky and Angie Studinsky, we can cross them off. Mary had some changes on them. One application that Mary brought to me today was Erin Stengel. She'd like to hire her for $10.50 an hour.
What was the name?
Erin Stengel. So it'd be Casey Talberg at $11.50, Tiffany Vernig at $10.50, Erin Stengel at $10.50.
And those are all in the clubhouse?
Those are all in the clubhouse.
Is there one for the golf course as well?
Yes, there's Ethan Kowalczyk is at the grounds crew, and that
We approve that separately, or?
we can do that together too.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Nathan Kowalczyk for the,
Ethan
Ethan Kowalczyk for the
for the grounds crew.
grounds crew. Any questions on that?
I'll make a motion that we hire the recommendations of the staff for the clubhouse and also for the grounds crew.
Motion's been made by Donnie to approve the hiring for the Pierz Golf Course and Campground and clubhouse and grounds crew. Seconded by Jackie. All in favor indicate by stating aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried unanimously. Department reports. Mr. Chief, Mr. Hennigan wants to talk to us about mobile video recorder policy.
Like everything in the past, this is a new policy that we'll be implementing once we are full board with the MVR program. Right now, we're in the test modes, we're attending all our mandated training. And we're going to we'll go live sometime in June or July with the body camera. So this is just a policy that I put in front of all of you each time we do it. And then it'll just be implemented into our police manual here at City Hall if ever get inspected by post board. So I look for a motion to approve. I know on yours it says section 59, it's really section 50 on there, so we made a motion to approve it, it's section 50, not 59 for a policy. Any questions from me?
Any questions?
Test mode is going it's actually very slick, it's unbelievable the technology and how clear it is when we're utilizing it, it's some very unique technology, it's very friendly, very easy to manage. Any questions?
Motion's been made by Jackie to approve section 50 for the new recorder policy.
Second it.
mobile Video recorder policy.
I'll second it.
Seconded by Lynn. All in favor indicate by stating aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Carried unanimously.
Thank you.
Thank you, Eric. Eric Gaffke, we're Eric Strong tonight, Public Works Supervisor, to talk about some 2022 project bids.
Good evening. So I think there should be some stuff in your packets. The first thing is cement in front of the Public Works building. Just proposing that to fix, so it's tilted back towards the shed, like you guys probably see that. It's tilted back towards the shed. To have that replaced, and you can do, there's two sections to that bid. The first one is for 82 feet long and then 20 feet out. The second section to that is for another 20 feet, so it'd be 82 by 40. The reason why I'm asking for a pad that long is we mix our salt and sand up there, just have a nice apron out there for future things up there with maybe, not in the future with other buildings and stuff. Just to be able to get that sand and salt mixed up. And just to keep the dirt out of the garage, being able to work on heavy equipment or heavier equipment outside instead of having to drag it in during the summer, that sort of deal. I did look into, I also am looking into, maybe looking at the two center doors, making them 14 feet wide because they're not, it's barely wide enough to put the plow truck in there now. It's just gonna keep wrecking the building. So at some point, I'll gather all that information up for you guys to look at. We do not need to do the doors before the pads get poured. The pad could get poured before the doors get put up. There's different things we can do with the fillers that go out there. You know, you can anchor them to the cement, they can be done. That, I think the first step would be just put the cement pad. Also, we were talking about a salt shed out there. That it's rather expensive. It's going to be around $100,000 at this point for the salt shed. So Bob, I, and Phil were talking. We can just take what we have there, clean it up, fix it up. We can put some poles in the ground, put a roof over it, put a few sides on it, and that wouldn't suffice us for a while. It keep the salt dry, and that's mainly what we want to do. That would be something coming down the road here this summer that Bill and I can tackle. I believe we would have the money in our budgeted away under the public works salt line. I ain't sure what it would technically cost at this point to put a roof on that salt shed. Or that, what we have existing there at this point. You know, it might be $10,000. Could be, who knows, I have to price that in. But that's gonna be way cheaper than to put on a big shed at this point. Also had a few bids for seal coating, or not necessarily seal coating, crack sealing from Mike Schaefer. I went down, picked these roads out that looked like they needed. The estimate was $9,983. I had Lionsgate come in, or give me a bid on doing all the yellow curving in town. I believe last year we just did Main Street. So this year, Bob was saying we did every other year. This year would be the full town, all the yellow curving in town. And, the last one is the white cross blocks. I went around, counted, looked at all the ones that needed to be done. Bob and I were talking, the ones that are ground in are really good shape yet, they last a while. So mainly what's on here is pretty much everything other than the ones that are ground in. So there's like 239 of them, I think there's. And it is Main Street, and then you'll see on here some of the other roads that they had. Yeah, they did right there. Any questions?
With the exception of the concrete in front of the shop, the other items are just basic routine maintenance type things we basically do
Yep.
every year.
Yep.
I know we do a contract with Mike Schaefer Seal Coating every year for wherever we feel we need it. And the striping. Any questions on any of that? Donnie and I and Bob did go up and look at the concrete in front of the shop. It does angle right into the shop, you know, where it's laid there.
Water goes.
That concrete's fairly old, pretty broken up. It really needs to be replaced. I guess the only question is how far out do you go? Yeah, that's the
Seems like, you know, when you
Question
look
there.
at it, like 20 feet just don't seem quite enough. If you add, it sounds like a huge pad, but it would be what is needed.
So that's a total of 16,950 for both pads that you were
For
talking.
both pieces, yeah.
Yeah.
Eric and I have talked, we're just kind of kicking that whole big salt shed down the road, kicking that can down the road. Ideally, we would have that $100,000 salt shed because there would be payback on it by buying cheaper salt and storing it all year. But just to try to get to that point, it's going to take too long unless we really bite the bullet and do it. But we feel like this is a 5 to 10 year fix.
Yeah, if we can cover it, at least we, prevent it from getting wet. That's the big thing.
Put in power poles around it, strip it, just like you're building a three-sided shed.
Yeah, it's exactly.
Angled roof on the top and call it
Doesn't
good.
need to be that fancy.
It's a salt shed, right?
Yeah, yeah. All three sides would be covered and call it more or less.
It's better than what we have.
Right, better than nothing.
Yeah.
Yep. So next meeting, you'll get us numbers for that,
Yeah,
or
yeah,
within the
yeah,
next
we'll-
couple, I should say.
Yeah, we'll get numbers on that. I'd like to know what it costs too, so.
Yeah.
I'll get numbers from it, or hopefully you'll have this design, or the numbers and what it'll look like, I suppose, down there, so.
Yeah, we looked at the doors also down there. The one door, the snowplow fits in if you're straight. And you got about a quarter of an inch on each side to spare. And you can see the door where it's been, obviously Eric never did it, but somebody scraped the door a little bit.
Previous.
Previous?
Previous guys.
We won't throw out any names, just previous works good.
So, and continue to work on that, and get some quotes on that. Any questions on any of the other stuff? We should probably approve any of this or not approve any of this individually.
Yes.
So I think, why don't we start with the crack seal coating with the contract with Mike Schaefer Seal Coating?
I'll second.
Motion's been made by Jackie, seconded by Kyle to move forward with the seal coating with the bid from Mike Schaefer Seal Coating. Of course, it's not Mike anymore. All in favor indicate by stating aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried unanimously. Then let's look at the striping. Motion's been made by Jackie to approve the striping,
I'll second it.
seconded by Donnie. All in favor indicate by stating aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried unanimously. And then we have the concrete bid. And what's
There was
that?
2 for the crosswalks.
Okay, crosswalk first, okay.
That's through
Right.
Outdoor Specialties.
On the crosswalk,
Yep,
motion made by
I'll
Lynn,
make that motion.
seconded by Jackie. All in favor indicate by stating aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Carried unanimously. Now we come to the concrete.
I'll make a motion to approve the concrete to be fixed.
Motion's made by Jackie to approve the concrete in front of the shop, seconded by,
And that bid is through Gertz. Is that what I saw?
I think he
Yes.
was the cheapest, yeah.
Okay. I'll second that.
seconded by Lynn. All in favor indicate by stating aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Carried unanimously. Anything else, Eric?
No, thank you.
Did I miss anything there? Okay. Bob?
So we have our phone system up and running at the clubhouse, fire hall, and city hall. Just kind of working some things out on it, I guess. I don't know that we have it set up perfectly or the way we want it, but we're just kind of working with it. And then it's really easy to modify, and Midco has been spot on with their helpline. So I think it's been going fairly well. And then the American Rescue Plan Act funds, I did complete the necessary reports online to the U.S. Treasury, so that's taken care of. And I checked the box that says we're using our allotment for revenue replacement, which means we can use that in general fund for our government. So that $149,000 plus dollars will be getting the second half this summer and be able to use it. So it was a fairly straightforward. I mean, it took a while to figure it out, but once I was working through it, it went pretty well. And then a few interactions with Sourcewell last week. I did get a chance. I was invited to that Students of Character event. And I would just encourage anybody that has a chance to go next year or following years to go to it. It was a really cool event. And then I was able to sit in front of the board of directors and their senior management team, just representing the city of Pierz, and Tom Oddie from the school was the school selected in our region. So it was kind of neat to, they like the way we operate, I guess, and interact with Sourcewell using what they have to offer and their funds. So it was a good day. That's it.
Anything else? Good. Park complex expansion update. First of all, our MCCR grant. Bob sent out an email late today. The House version has passed the House, and we were not in that fund granted. The Senate version is through the committee. They next will vote in the entire Senate, and we are in that bill. Then after that, the two House and the Senate will sit down and consolidate and come up with a bill, and whether we're in or out is yet to be seen. So that's where we are on that. Update on the park complex itself. We're moving dirt. We've been moving dirt for about 3 weeks now. We're getting to the point where we're starting to shape the greens. So we're moving along very well out there. So, any questions?
I have one, Dave. When I was reading through, this actually was the park board minutes from April were in here, which kind of outlined the fuel tanks. But then I was reading the rest of it. Do we need to approve this Kuha Gulf for installation of the irrigation project? That was never brought.
No, that's the consulting fee for that. I don't think we necessarily have to approve that. We could.
Well, we approve everything else. When you look at,
It does get approved at the end of the month, for the previous month's claims.
but it's already paid by the time we're doing that, correct?
It's paid in pieces. It's not.
I think it's just a formality is all I'm
Okay,
saying.
We can do that. What Lynn is referring to is with the installation of the irrigation at the golf course, there's a consulting fee with the consultant who did the design of the layout and everything will continue to stay with us and work with the consulting of putting the installation of that in. And that's a fee of 1,500,
Just short of it, 14.9.
14 something, yeah. 14,000.
Yeah.
Just short of 15,000.
Yep.
So if we want to approve that, we can.
I could have that contract at the next meeting, I guess. He's not going to do the work for maybe starting in the
Yeah.
fall.
Well, actually, we're going to meet next week out there sometime.
Okay.
He's going to come up and start laying some things out. So,
Okay.
Oh, he's gonna start designing it. you
Yeah.
mean.
Well, he's got it
Or, well,
designed.
Right.
He wants to start into the detail of it, yeah. So, what's the amount? 14,000,
I'd have to look at it.
14,900.
14,931? No, 14,900.
That's what it says on here from your golf
It's
course
just under
minutes.
15. So,
It was on page 16. Under golf course construction.
I will look for a motion to approve that, or
Yeah, I'll make that motion.
motion's been made by Kyle to approve the consulting fee with Kula Design, I believe is the name of his company.
KUHA.
Kua.
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 Okay.
Yeah.
I'll make the second.
Motion's made by Kyle, seconded by Donnie to approve the consulting fee with Kua Design. All in favor indicate by stating aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Carried unanimously. Anything else? Any other questions?
Nothing else, I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Motion's been made by Donnie to adjourn,
I'll second it.
seconded by Lynn. All in favor indicate by stating aye.
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 Opposed? Carried unanimously. Thank you all for coming.